I feel like my basketball career is somewhat keeping him alive. It gives him something to do. It gives him something to come here during the day and watch our practices or say hi. I mean, I say hi to him, he just says, "Hey, stranger," and just walks away. Or I say, "I love you," and he just says, "Yeah." It gives me a hug goodbye, but he's just a special man to me, and it's just exciting to have him here and have that connection with Taylor University.
Following a standout career at Jefferson Township High School, Ted Wright was unsure what his next step would be. That would change after the legendary coach Don Odell came calling.
Back then, nobody hardly recruited anybody. You just chose out where you want to go, I guess. Anyway, nobody recruited me but Coach Odell. And I registered, told the coach I quit. I got Mrs. Olson put me in Spanish and Latin and English, and I don't know. I told the coach, "There's no way I'm going to pass those grades on those subjects." So he changed it. He came and changed the little schedule for minor sports and something else. And so I was eligible and made my grades and got to play.
It's a good thing for the Trojans that Coach Odell changed Wright's classes. The Upland native was a 4-year starter, earning first-team All-Conference honors twice and honorable mention once. A highlight of Wright's career came on a Saturday night in January of his junior year. The lefty would pour in 34 points in a rout of Manchester, breaking the TU single-game scoring mark.
It'd be nice if I could remember that. I could. That game is the only game I ever played that I didn't know what happened. But right at the end of the game, I made a long shot. I remember making the long shot in the ball, and I looked down, and I woke up. I don't remember anything that happened in that game until that moment. Somebody come up to me and said, "You only need 2 more points to break the school record." Because I didn't know I had any points except that long shot I just woke up on. But anyway, I made it. I made a layup. Johnny Nelson and I, right at the end of the game, I'm going down the floor with the ball, and Johnny's with me too. He's just side of me, wide open, nobody between me and the basket. And I didn't pass John the ball. That's probably the only time I wouldn't have passed it, but somebody just told me I need 2 more points to break the record, so I didn't pass the ball to John.
Wright would go on to become the first Taylor player to score 1,000 points in a career, finishing with 1,283. He would be inducted into the Taylor Athletics Hall of Fame in 1996, the same year his granddaughter Aubrey was born. The basketball journey of Ted and Aubrey Wright would begin when Aubrey was in middle school. Ted would drive to Columbia City to help coach Aubrey's AAU team.
During practice, his famous question was, "What's the most important part of the game?" And we kind of just would stare at him. And then he would be like, "The basketball, that's what scores, and that's what you need. You always need the basketball."
Early in her high school career, Aubrey had her sights set on playing basketball for one college. It's just not the one you're thinking of.
I was mainly looking at Huntington University. Growing up, I always knew I was going to go there. My dad went there and played baseball. My brother went there, and I knew Coach Kohler from a young age. And so I looked at Huntington for basketball, but then I looked at Ball State just for school. And then Taylor kind of came along towards the end of my sophomore year, and I was like, okay.
With Taylor on Aubrey's radar, what role did Ted play in his granddaughter's recruitment? That depends on who you ask. Did you ever try to influence her to come to Taylor?
No, I didn't.
Really?
No. I was surprised when she just said she's coming to Taylor. I was hoping she would, but I didn't try to force her. I didn't do that.
He definitely was the one that was the focal point in my recruiting process, because he really pushed me on looking into it, and he knew it was a good school, and he knew the coach pretty well, and he used to come to the practices back then, and so he kept talking to the coach about me, and I kind of just was like, Grandpa, it's my recruiting process. We'll see. Maybe I'll visit it. I don't know about Upland. It's a small community. And then he finally pushed towards it, and so the coach invited me to come for a visit, and then I loved it. I loved the school even more than the basketball program, and then the basketball program was obviously a nice add to it.
62 years after graduating from TU, Ted was right next to Aubrey as she signed on the dotted line to follow in her grandpa's footsteps.
It was very special. Being one of the only grandchildren that even plays basketball, and even at the college level, was just really exciting for him. He's always been so supportive of me and my basketball career, and that day was just very special.
That was nice. I thought it was real nice. I like that. I like that.
Living almost 3 miles away from the Taylor University campus allows Ted to be a mainstay at practices and every game for the Trojans. The ability to see her grandfather whenever she wants is not lost on Aubrey.
After my grandma passed away, that was kind of one of my goals, just to hang out with my grandparents more. And being in Upland, it's really nice. We actually go to church together quite often on Sundays. It's been nice having him around.
With as much time as he spends around the team, you could make the case that Ted is their #1 fan.
I just root for all the Taylor girls. Okay? Think the coach is doing a great job. And that's it.
With the Taylor women's basketball team, Rick Johnston, Trojan Sports Network.